Oh, hey, everybody. Jumbo Sergeant Major Grizzlegrits. Look, everyone, I know I complain all the time about how, things just aren't what they used to be. Friends, I'm going to demonstrate something to you. Friends, I bought the John Deere for the ministry, and unfortunately, I got to fire the Mio Amigo lawn crew because we're consolidating some debt, friends. We're gonna get our debt paid off in no time, friends. That's my problem, not yours. But look, friends, I picked up this fine piece of machinery. This is a Honda, friends. Friends, I think this is from like the early 2000s, maybe the late 90s. But I bought it from a man, and he restored it, friends. It just needed a little work. But this thing's been sitting in the grizzly garage over there in the corner for literally like 4 or 5 years, and I have not fired this thing up like one time. And friends, we ran it out of gas last time, so I'm going to demonstrate to you, friends. Friends, they don't make things like this any longer. Everything's cheap and watered down. Friends, I'm convinced. I'm going to put a little ethanol-free fuel right on in here, and I'm going to give it like 3 or 4 pulls on this pull here. Now, friends, if you're a girly man, I can't help you. You just got to call the lawn crew, but you're probably living in an apartment or you're still with your mommy. Look, friends, if you're a man, if you're a real man like your Homo Sergeant Major, and you live in a home, friends, this is my grizzly mansion. I'm back home like I keep trying to stick and tell you. Friends, here's what we're going to do. No more jibber jabbering. Corporal Stevens, the fuel. Friends, you must have your proper PEE. That's your protective gear. Personal protective gear. Friends, we're going to uncap the fuel, the tank. We're going to put just a little bit, friends, because friends, if this don't go the way your Sergeant Major thinks, I don't want to waste any fuel, so just a little bit. All right. Whoa. Good grief, that about filled it up. Friends, I got to fire my lawn crew. They do a good job, but there's really not a lawn to mow, friends. I told you. There ain't no point in wasting all the water. So look, friends, you're going to put the choke all the way down. Friends, my father taught me. Friends, my father's up in heaven. His airplane wings right over yonder. He died in an ultralight plane crash, friends, almost 20 years ago. Friends, he told me you always buy the Hondas or the John Deeres, but we didn't need a John Deere. So look, friends, you got to push it in, give it a pull. One more, friend. I think I almost heard it crank up. Friends, did you hear it fire? Friends, I'm certain this thing was fired. Hold on. You just got to get the gas on. Come on now. Friends, you just don't ever give up. Oh, friends, I might have a foul plug. Maybe the gas is turned off. Corporal Stevens, stop that video immediately. Friends, I cheated. I stinking cheated. Check it out, friends. We got a little starter fluid. Friends, you just need a little squirt, friends. Friends, just squirt, and watch it, friends. This thing's got fire right up. Here we go, friends. I told you. Don't you think it down. I mean, we're not mowing the yard yet, friends, but you get the point. Let's go. Oh, come on, Corporal Stevens. You're embarrassing me in front of all my fans. Here we go, friends, one last time. Ready for Granddaddy Grizzlegrits. Friends, you heard